Okay, in the last video, we looked at this mole map and we talked about how to do one-step conversion, so between grams and between moles and particles. In this video, we're going to talk about how to do two-step conversions, so how to convert from grams to particles and how to convert from particles to grams. So let's start with an example going from grams to particles. Okay, so the problem says convert 23.4 grams of water to molecules. So I'm going to identify what I'm given and identify where I'm going. Right, so 23.4 grams of water, and I want to convert to molecules of water. Now, it would be nice if we could go straight from grams to molecules, but looking at our mole map, we really can't do that easily. We can go from grams to moles and then moles to particles. So when we see that we are given grams, we should look at our mole map and say, okay, well, I know I can't get straight to particles. I know the only place I can convert is moles. So don't worry about the whole problem at the beginning. Just take it one step at a time. So all I know is that I can convert from grams to moles. So I'm going to take grams of water and move it down. And I'm going to put moles here because I really have no choice. Now, to get these numbers, I'm going to use the periodic table. So water is H2O. So I need to take the mass of 2 hydrogen atoms plus 1 oxygen atom. So I get that the mass of water is 18.02 grams per mole. So that's how many grams there are in 1 mole. So here I would put 18.02 grams in 1 mole. All right, so now I have moles, but I haven't gotten all the way to molecules yet, so that means I have to keep going. So I'm going to take my upstairs unit and move it down. And I'm going to ask myself, all right, what can I convert moles to? Well, I can convert moles into grams or particles, but I'm not going to convert back to grams, right? I just came from there. And the whole goal of this problem was to convert into particles, in this case molecules. So I'm going to put molecules on the top. Now, I have to ask myself, what conversion factor do I use for that? Well, when I convert between moles and particles, I have to use Avogadro's number, which tells me how many particles there are in a mole. So in 1 mole, there are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. When I calculate this on my calculator, I would put in, let's see where you can see it. That's good. 23.4 times 1, obviously it's not going to change the answer, I'm just showing you for clarity here, times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, divided by 18.02. I could also divide by 1, but again, it makes no difference. So I get 7.82 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Okay? And again, when I'm solving for atoms or molecules, I should be expecting to get a large number, and I did here, so that's good news. All right, let's look at this similar problem going in the other direction. So now, let's find the mass in grams of 3.94 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of argon. Okay, so I'm given 3.94 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of argon. I want the grams, the mass, of this many atoms. So I'm going to start by writing what I'm given. And I'm going to write where I'm going. Now, looking at my mole map, I have atoms, which are a type of particle. So the only thing I can convert to start with is moles. So I'm going to take atoms and move it down. And I'm going to put moles here. Now, I have to think carefully when I put in my conversion factor. Avogadro's number is how many atoms there are in a mole. So that number has to stay with atoms. There are 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms in 1 mole. All right, so now I have moles, but the problem is asking me for grams. So that means that I'm not done and I have to keep going. So I'm going to take moles and move it down. Now, I'm trying to get to grams. Can I convert from moles to grams? Well, yeah, absolutely, I can do that, and I just have to use the molar mass from the periodic table. So I'm going to put grams up here, and now I'm going to use my periodic table to find the molar mass of argon. So argon is over here, 39.95. So argon has 39.95 grams per mole, so that means in 1 mole, there are 39.95 grams. All right, so I'm going to carefully put this in my calculator, and I have to be careful because there's scientific notation in the bottom. So this is why I really recommend using that E but I'll show you two ways to do it. So 3.94 E23 times 1, which again isn't going to change anything, times 39.95, divided by 6.02 E23. Now, if you enter it exactly like that, you don't have to worry about parentheses, okay? And I get 26.1 grams of argon. Now, if you really don't like entering scientific notation this way, you can do it like this, 3.94, and then you can do times 10 to the 23rd. That's okay. And then you would do times 39.95, but when you divide it, you have to put that scientific notation in parentheses or your calculator is going to get all confused. And you see you get the same answer. You just have to be careful with parentheses if you're going to enter scientific notation like that. All right, just let me know if you have any questions and I'm more than happy to help you.